Hello, you've reached the HubSpot helpline. Helpline.
It's Rob, it's George, it's Casey, and Kyle. Come with a problem and leave with a smile. Every Friday at 3, come and join us as we help you with HubSpot. Open up your LinkedIn, just make sure you call in and leave a voicemail about HubSpot. Make your Friday divine with the HubSpot helpline.
George is still dancing. Hello and welcome to the HubSpot helpline. It's Rob, it's George, it's Casey, and it's not Kyle. Chris is here. We've already played the Imperial Star Wars music, but I want to start off not even by asking everyone how they're doing, but by wishing the man, the myth, the legend, George B. Thomas, happy birthday, buddy.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate it. It's I guess I could give him a that feels weird giving myself applause. I'm just saying. Yeah, I'm officially old as dirt. So there you go. Here's to another 365 days, hopefully, on this planet, helping humans with HubSpot. But thank you for the warm wishes.
You know what's crazy? All this time we've spent together and hung out and tried to solve HubSpot problems. I never knew we were birthday neighbors. My birthday is tomorrow.
Oh, man. All right. Another Libra. Let's go.
Let's go, baby. Yeah, Libra birthdays are in season.
Yes.
But George
is kind of weird.
George does not want to be applauding himself or talking about all that. And Chris almost just forgot all about George's birthday to bring up something that he himself has been struggling with, which caused a bunch of ruckus and commotion in the green room. I don't know if we want to continue congratulating George on navigating life for another 365 days, or if we want to get to Chris's question, but Chris, I'll turn it over to you.
Well, let's let Mr. Lewis here wish. I've never been able to solve it without dealing or handing it off to the IT team that is in charge of the Microsoft platform of the business. But this issue where people just don't like using the Outlook HubSpot add-in to log emails because they're constantly being logged out and it's not doing things they expect it to be doing. And with updates on Microsoft side, on the Outlook side, on the HubSpot side, lots of opportunity for that to go awry. And it's very rarely are people pointing the finger at Outlook or Microsoft as that is their tool of choice. Like that is always a part of their job where HubSpot is not always. So how do you like, is this a problem that we just always have to deal with or what's the solve?
Go with Google. So, like, first of all, let me just back up because this is not their tool of choice. It's a tool of choice of somebody or somebodies in the organization. Now, I think that you're hitting across two problems, though. One, sometimes it seems like it's buggy and glitchy, and sometimes the humans are buggy and glitchy. And so are we actually talking about, Chris, right now, a platform, Microsoft problem, or are we talking about a human problem, or do you think that we're actually talking about both? So let's drill down a little bit in the thing that you're kind of bringing up today.
You just blew his mind so much. I don't know if he's muted or if he doesn't know how to start off with what I thought was a great reframe.
There's a recent update. If I can start with the end in mind, like maybe this is just an easy solve, and this is exactly why HubSpot did this. The log all emails. with known contacts.
Yep.
Is that the solve that where you don't even need the add-in?
I feel like that update was a big, like, my words, not HubSpot's, by the way. If your team decides not to follow the rules, here is a switch that you can flip in HubSpot to get the data that you need for the context that you're going to be working with moving forward. I feel that was very much that update. That's not the way they presented it or how it came across. But I do believe that is a good fix because then everything is getting logged, although not everything, because I still believe you have the ability to go and put those filtering rules in as an admin of like, track it all, but not these things.
So this is the one we're talking about here.
Yeah.
Contact email logging rules. Log all emails between known contacts in the CRM and users with connected emails.
Yeah. Now, what this doesn't do is, by the sounds of it, create new ones. So it's only ones that are in the CRM. So it's a little bit different than like the extension as it stands now, which by the way, this could be a good thing or a bad thing, but it kind of automatically, I won't use my automatically word because, well, that tells you kind of what side of the fence I think I fall on, but it automatically will create contacts in your database. I don't feel like this does. This is just saying if they've been added in, then just grab all the communication. Which, by the way, is a platform. I go back to my original thing. This is a, air quotes, platform fix. This is not, by any stretch of the imagine, a human fix at all.
I'm with you. I'm curious, just any other thoughts? Because this here, like in those situations, usually the logged email is the only way that contacts are getting created in their HubSpot. So, yeah, I guess the confirmation I was looking for is if I turn this on, that means things will get logged without the sales extension. It sounds like that's a yes, but doesn't necessarily solve all of the
hit the learn more. Since we're here, just hit that learn more under log all emails. Because really the thing is like what we're trying to do is like, does it add, right, contacts? And so if we look at this, you know, is there anywhere in here that it says log replies only? Okay, immediately the only, right? This option is selected by default for all accounts. Replies will only be logged if they are part of an existing threaded log in the CRM. Incoming messages not associated with the log thread will not be logged, which means that it will not be created because to get logged, it would have to be created. So it's not a fix for automatically adding humans to your portal, but it is a fix to getting communication with people who are already in the portal and having communication. Anyway, that was not the best way to say that, but you know what I'm saying.
That was what I was trying to wrap my head around with my slow brain today for whatever reason.
So can I be honest with you? Like, and I may get hate mail. I hate.
Not if you don't turn on this feature.
That's a strong word. I strongly dislike that contacts get auto created in my portal because I can't tell you the amount of humans that I've had conversations with, and I just leave track and log on all the time, and I just ignore it because usually I'm just communicating with people, and then I go and realize like, oh, there's 271 humans that I've communicated with that I don't necessarily need them in my CRM, to the point that I've actually built a system that like creates a list of humans that were added into the portal via the extension so that I can go through it and say, yeah, no, actually remove those folks, or at least put them in a like suppression list for when I do my marketing emails and things like that. My dad does not give two ishes about anything that I send from a marketing email standpoint. So why would he be in my database? But because we've communicated via email, bloop, there he is. Anyway, again, I might get hate mail or HubSpot might just like cancel me. I don't know, but like that feature has always kind of driven me nuts.
Yeah.
I also
It
think
is hard to not just want this to
Jorge.
happen. Thanks, Jorge.
um,
But in most
Jorge.
situations, Microsoft is the source of truth for the entire organization and everybody working in it. So not an option.
Wait, did I just hear Jorge?
You did.
Was there a comment up on the screen for like 2 seconds when I turned my head or something? Oh, okay.
Yes,
Okay.
there was.
you gotta
Okay.
pay attention, George.
I literally looked
The
away
show
from
moves quick.
Jorge and was like, wait, I know that guy.
Jumping off, George, what you mentioned though about your dad, like I have heard one of the reasons sales teams are hesitant to use HubSpot and connect to their inboxes are things just like that, where their parents are suddenly in the company's CRM just through them emailing with their parents. Like, and so I think you're right to call that out. And that is like, it's a larger issue too that is preventing adoption in some instances.
So when I train sales teams, because you have to sometimes make things funny, even though they're not funny. So when I train sales teams, I literally tell them like one of the first things you might want to do is go to the never track, like never log like feature and add your wife's email to that because nobody gives a shit that you got to go to the store and get bread or milk.
That was where my head went. And I think there's a cat. Chris, can you scroll up a little bit? Like hearing log all emails as an option, it has, I don't think I can draw on the screen, but a user who has personal email access permissions. So like step one, go figure that out, configure that. George said he built a system, and who are, even though this seems like a double negative, who are not on the never log list. So a quick way as far as like privacy and not bothering family members and other people, I have 3 or 4 email addresses, and Rob at Supert is usually it's a default. So why would those people need to have their conversations logged? Well, if you haven't set that up and kind of figured out that initial thing it's telling you to do here, I think that could be a big issue.
And let's go even further, right, into this. HR, accounting, sometimes the CEO. Like there is communication that sometimes does not need to be in HubSpot. And so then all of a sudden you gotta plan for that, or you gotta have a process of knowing like, well, anything that is going to be like highly not classified because it's not military, unless you're B2G. If you're watching a B2G, put a thumbs up in the comment, by the way. But
sensitive,
sensitive information might literally be from a different email that is not tracked or some system is in place where homeboy isn't all sorts of nervous about, man, I just talked about Betty and how Betty did XYZ, and I don't know what XYZ is. You can make it up in your own mind, but you know what I mean? Like you got to be careful of those types of sensitive things getting into HubSpot. And I say that because I've run into that with like people that I've consulted over the years with this whole issue that we're talking about today.
Yeah.
That HR, accounting, finance, that type of stuff was where my head went immediately. But it does seem like there's at least in theory, a way to quickly kind of prevent those egregious errors or really privacy stuff from happening by, toggling on. But you're gonna everybody. There you go.
This is fair, and can work sometimes.
Not very often, no.
But what he said before that, his team was, once they got the never log list clear, they didn't have any issues.
Yep.
I think the part that I struggle with is it doesn't it's more about the logging in and logging out, and not having as much control over how often that's the headache from the people that I've worked with. That until IT really digs into what's doing that on the Microsoft side, on the Windows side of things, it's very hard to solve for that. And in the case where you don't have a specific IT owner, maybe it's an owner of the business that happens to be doing the IT. It can be hard to overcome. What another comment that Jeremy made was they could just fix the add-in, for goodness sake. But on that front, they can't control the updates that Microsoft makes, and HubSpot's add-in is not the only thing that suffers from Windows updating.
Well, can I even give you one that's it's not as important as what we're talking about, but like the amount of humans that contacted me when they switched from old Outlook to new Outlook because now HubSpot's email signature tool broke, and they were trying to figure out how to actually get the email signature to work in the new, like, or the folks that like all of a sudden couldn't find the HubSpot sprocket because there was a new Outlook layout. Like Microsoft makes these broad sweeping like changes, and it just historically what I've seen, and again, I go back to my original statement, go to Google, but they make these broad brushstrokes that just break stuff, and then we're left as admins or folks in the trenches to try to figure out, well, how do we communicate to our team that these are the 3 steps you need to take, and here's the thing where you can view it, and now we've got to redo this thing, so boss is going to take us time to like fix all this.
Use Google, I think is the bluff.
All right.
The HubSpot
Appreciate that.
hotlines. Sponsored by Google Workspace.
Have a great day.
Well, we turned on the log all earlier today in a portal, so we'll let you guys know how that goes. How about something from the Reddit mailbag? Let's see here. We've got. Can you add a schedule meeting hyperlink in your HubSpot signature without triggering a redirect notice?
Why would you get a reader? Well, first of all, there's a token for that, a personalization token that you can add into your signature. That's literally like meeting link, but I don't understand why they would get a redirect.
From the email to somewhere else? Is that what it's?
Oh, are you saying like, so it doesn't take them to a page to actually like do the meeting link thing? Well, if that's the case, you shouldn't be using meeting links. You should be using the suggested times that you can use, which is amazing, by the way. I've had multiple, and if I need to show this, I can show this, but I've had multiple humans when I send an email and it's not the link and it's like, pick a time with George B. Thomas, and it's like the blocks of time they can pick right inside the email. Like if that's what you're worried about, is like, I don't want them going out of my email to a page to then interact with the meeting widget. I just want them to stay in the email and be able to book with me. Then it's using the flip side of the meetings tool and keeping them in your inbox with that. So everybody talking about?
That's how I interpret it. Yeah. If you send me an email and it's in your signature or wherever, and it's, meet with George B. I click that, I will be taken to your calendar on a different page.
Yeah.
Or to your point, you can just build in the like suggested time slots that then appear in the email as like a widget, and you can book from there.
Should I show it in case people have never like seen it?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Okay. So let me share my screen, share screen, and entire screen, and this screen, and share. So like what we're talking about is like, we might literally have where we go meetings, and then we go scheduling link, and we go let's chat, and so like they might click that and go to a page. That maybe is what they're talking about. What I'm talking about is sometimes I don't even use that, but I'll go meetings and I'll go back and I'll say insert proposed times, to which then I can be like, hey, I want to do this 45-minute meeting. The title is going to be Meet with George. It's actually going to be a video conference. I'm going to make it Zoom. And then I'm going to do my reminders. I might even give it a description. But now what I can do is I can start to go through and find times in my calendar where I'm available. Like, okay, I want to give you this time. I want to give you this time. This time. I might go ahead and go into the next week where I have some more time. And now I'm literally, instead of giving them all of my calendar and sending them out to a page with my widget, I insert those times. And now, by the way, HubSpot, fix this, please. The dot should be right up to the guest, so I don't have to fix it with Grammarly every time. If you're out there, PM, just know. Anyway, now you have this. And so like they can click on the thing and they can book the meeting and pick the time and they're off to the races. So
I've never seen this before.
wait, what?
What?
Wait.
I have it.
Oh my God, this is one of my favorite. So here's what I want you to do, Casey. I want you
There's
to
no way that I was aware of a feature in HubSpot that you were not.
when you have I don't want to use the word lead. When you have a new human that comes through your pipeline that's thinking about working with you, send them an email with this in it and watch if you don't get a response that says something along the lines of, dang, that email was cool and easy. Because this has impressed multiple folks that I now work with when I've started to engage in this way.
While we're here talking about like the non-lead but humans, can you click? Well, I don't know if you book with yourself, but can you go back and insert the other meeting link just so we can understand redirect notice? Because clicking on these is going to do one of two things, and so is the other meeting option. Like a redirect link, which was why the question was even asked, is now going to open a new tab and redirect you to this page, right? If you click on the other option in email, does it just go ahead and book it?
See, it's slightly different.
Yeah,
it takes you to more like this.
It's a confirmation instead of a choice and like a grouping. So
yes, I no longer have to like so. For instance, if you think about the here's the thing. I click this, right, and all of a sudden, immediately, man, this dude is like. Well, first of all, this dude is busy, so quit judging. But right now they got to go next month, and then they got to go 45 minutes or 1 hour. They're not sure. They're confused. Now they got to look at days. Yeah. The other experience is like, here you go. Like it was a super easy choice of like, boom, and I'm done.
Yeah, this doesn't like my calendar link looks like yours, George, where like you click it and it's like, do you want to meet next year?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
we can
I do think of like the friction that causes, and even to your point, like are people like she can't even meet with me. I'm not gonna like work with her.
So I literally have a snippet. This is so terrible, Casey. I have a snippet that I insert that says, FYI, if you can't find a time on my calendar, just hit reply and let me know. I'll find a time. Because I know the amount of time somebody's going to go within, because they want within a week or they want within 2 weeks. And there are times where you'll hit my calendar and, but I can find times that were work times to slip somebody in. And so I always leave that little caveat under whatever it is, like the link or the proposed times that I use.
Chris, what are some other reasons, since you've been quiet and I feel like you're about to weigh in, that makes the value and the experience better on behalf of whoever is booking, right? Like, is it least resistance and just to a point of like them having to decide and then go back and forth and compare? Like going through it live helped because it would be much easier. If I don't know when George is available and I don't want to go look and then compare calendars, if he just offered me times that I knew were important, me picking one of those says, like, thank you for doing the decision making and the calendaring on my behalf. And it also says, like, I can almost guarantee you that time slot will work instead of having to be rescheduled or rebooked or go back and forth. The thing I hate most in the world is going back and forth about meeting times. Like, it is an all-time pet peeve. And it seems like option B, the thing that Casey had never seen until 5 minutes ago, is definitely less friction for sure. Your thoughts?
Well, the concern is the spam filter here, right? Does that solve because it's like 5 links on there now.
Mhm.
And if they want it in the signature, that means it's probably an outbound thing that's happening. And like, do they mean redirect notice, or do they just mean all the UTM tags that get put on, like because it's being sent from an email that's tracked by HubSpot? I think in most email cases, like, don't send spam, you won't get marked as spam.
Yeah.
Like,
And
if you want that level, like if it's really valuable to have it there and it's a permissioned, send,
Mhm.
you shouldn't be worried about getting marked as spam.
and I'll tell you, when I do that meeting widget, I've never ended up in the spam box with those emails ever. And you bring up a lot of good points. It's funny. I go back to like when we first started this show, like we were trying to answer a question, but we're answering a question with 20% of the context that we need, because they could be calling something that we're not calling it. Because if you're trying to like clean up the UTMs, impossible. Also, why would you? Like, that's tracking information. Like, it's literally, if you're using HubSpot, you're trying to get that information. Like, you want the stuff to happen in that way. Anyway, I digress.
It's a good question from the Reddit mailbag.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love all the effort that we put in to try and get email to work for us.
Jesus
See,
there's a little dig at the end.
I'm so happy that I'm ending my week with a full show about email.
But here's the thing. I don't put a lot of effort to email. You know what I do? I write them and I send them. That's the effort I put into it.
And you build trust everywhere else.
Yeah. Yeah, without a doubt. It's like, like the joke. No, never mind. Not the place or time. Never mind.
All right.
Casey stopped herself from asking something or making a retort. Go ahead.
No, I'm just deciding how much I want to rile Chris up today, I guess.
All of it. All of it. This would be the best birthday present to George that we could give him in the next 30 minutes. So please do it.
He's not lying.
So I consider myself an email marketer. I will say, like, it doesn't feel as fruitful as it once used to, is what I'll say. Like, the time I put into email marketing doesn't feel as rewarding as it did 3-5 years ago. I think some of that is the changes to email policies. There are, promotions tabs now that will filter out emails. There are more ways that Apple and things are like checking your email and things like that. And even I often go into my junk folder and I'm like, oh my God, this is a brand I buy from, and I didn't know anything this was even in here. So with all of that being said, there are emails I get that are marketing emails that I enjoy.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing. Like, I think email can be powerful, but what it should be being used for is building relationships. And if you're using it as it traditionally has been used, which is a one-way street, which is, we have this thing we want you to buy, here's information on how to buy it, then you're not going to see the like reward back. Versus if you're using email as a like two-way street, as a, here are times that I would like to meet with you, and if none of these are available, then I'll make time. Or I like to talk about Jay Schwedelson's emails because they're fun. Like, I read his emails because they're funny and interesting, and that's why I read them.
I too was going to mention like Jay Schwelison or Guru. And here's the thing, like, it's because people make it fun, they make it enjoyable, they make it meaningful. But I have a question, Casey, because I'm curious. And refresh my memory how you said it. You said it's not as fruitful as it once was. Is that
Yeah,
what
I mean, I was
no,
waffling.
the words are fine. It's not as fruitful as I once found it.
Mhm.
Um, can you name me one thing that is?
More fruitful now?
I'm not trying to wax funny here.
No, I know.
As a marketer,
Mhm.
give me one thing that feels as fruitful as it once did 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago.
Yeah,
I'll
you're
wait.
right.
A live conversation with another human being.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
And I think
That's about it.
My birthday's tomorrow, so I'll go boomer or old school here as well. With a story, right? Because humans like stories. I bought something on Tuesday. I'm going back to my inbox now. I bought something on Tuesday. Okay, ordered something, and I got a confirmation email. Since Tuesday, I just counted. I've gotten 26 emails from this company. 26, all with special sale ends now. Hurry up. Thought you'd like this. Don't miss this. In like that is not just a one-way street. That is a train running over me. Like I really legitimately want to cancel ordering this product now because of that. So less fruitful, and the boomer statement is like it only takes one, probably more than one, but to ruin it for everybody. So whenever that happens, and half of my inbox is advertising and sale messages about something that I'm probably not going to buy again, right? Like the same thing happened to name drop a little bit. It's a glasses company, so I ordered some glasses. I'll just not name them, but you know who they are. Rhymes with Dorby Sharker, to give you a hint.
Wow, shots fired.
And I've gotten hundreds of emails from that. How often do you freaking buy a pair of eyeglasses? Like, George, you're wearing some. How often do you buy eyeglasses?
It's every couple of years potentially. Which
Not 3 times a day?
No.
Are you sure?
No, I know that it's not 3 times a day.
Okay, well, that was the type of volume I was getting. So, like, I agree with both of your points, but like the one-way street versus relational, how in the world is that relational? Right? Like the sale offers. Now, if there was ways you could opt in or different types of things like new eye research, we know you have this condition where you have a fake lens in your eye. Like if there had been any more attempt to build a relationship up front and then send things that were relevant, that would be a bit of a different story. But the things that are the reason it's less fruitful is because the reason they're being used and the volume at which they're spamming things at people, it almost, blacklist probably the wrong term, but it creates a horrible experience that I then just assume and associate with any new email in my inbox. It's gotten to a point, I think I showed this, where I have 85,000 unread emails on my personal Gmail account. Like the amount of time it would take me to go in and delete all those, it's just like I don't pay attention to that anymore. There's very much this habituation of a bad experience that I'm just over. And so like people that do that ruin it for the rest.
So, all right. So I've got a couple things here. One, I've got to tell you a story about these glasses.
I want to hear it.
But before that, my brain works in really interesting ways. And so we're having this conversation about email. And so I know Chris loves to talk about email. But I was like, I went to my partner, AI partner, and I said, you know what? I want to be able to have a way to communicate the problem that we're facing right now with the way that people are sending emails. Because Casey was like, yeah, if it's entertaining or it's like visually whatever, like there are emails. She said there are emails that I still enjoy. Okay, so I went to it and I love this, where email would be engaging, motivating, aligning, inspiring, and leading. And I want you to think about those words. And if you sat down to write an email And it was like, how do we make this the most engaging email that motivates the human to realize that we're aligned in the efforts that they're trying to achieve and can inspire them in the future outcome of their life and lead them to the right place to get the conversation started? That becomes, to me, an enjoyable email. Okay, now, these glasses. First of all, when I first got glasses, I walked into the doctor's office and my wife was like, I think he needs glasses. To which I said, I don't need glasses. I was in the appointment for all of about 7 seconds. And the doctor pulled the things away from my eyes and said, you need glasses. Now we just need to figure out what type. So I get the prescription. I go to the store and I say these words. Yo, I need some glasses for a fat head because I have a fat head. And she goes, oh, we have that brand. And I'm like, no. My head is fat. I need glasses for a fat head. And she said, yes, we have that brand. So these are fat heads. That is the brand of these glasses. And that is what I wear because I need fat heads for a fat head. Just a real story.
That is unbelievable.
That is niche branding right there.
Right there.
I bet they own that market.
Oh, without a doubt.
I thought, kind of a weird follow-up. I thought Fathead was the sports and memorabilia collectible thing that did posters like that you could put on your wall.
It's also Harley, right? Is it Fathead Harley? Anyway, but yes, they're glasses and they literally have like an F for like fat heads on the side. Anyway. And I do open their emails to take this full circle when they email me.
Well, that was I was much more relational and much more niche and then thus memorable than I'm not going to mention this company, but but maybe I'll send them an email back and be like, look.
Well, that's why it's painful when well-respected individuals tell everybody it's okay to send 20 damn emails over like 2 or 3 days. And
Chris,
then you have everybody
people
else like sharing it like it's a badge of honor that they're following these rules that one person in the world gets to follow because they don't have to follow the rules of everybody else. How about we get another one out of the mailbag?
Chris is dying to not talk about email.
Chris is like, please let there be something about orders in this mailbag, please.
I had a non-email follow-up, but we'll go to mailbag first. I think it'll be.
Does a simple way exist to create a CSV of all published pages? I just want to have a list of all published pages, even if I have to combine a few separate lists, i.e. blogs, site pages, etc. And if they include draft pages, as long as I can sort the CSV, but it seems nearly impossible to do. I called support and the solutions provided weren't ideal. Has anyone done this before? Thanks.
I have not done this before.
So what's interesting is that you can go. Now I'm wondering if it
got sharing your screen yet?
No, I'm not yet because I'm trying to find out. Oh, actually, hang on. Let me go here. Yeah. I'm almost positive this gives them what they want, even though it doesn't say that. So if I go here and
then you share your screen.
Yeah. I'm getting there. I would ask them if, even though it doesn't say exactly what they said, if they have tried this to get all pages and blog posts, because if I do that, I'll get a notification to my email, but I can hit export and I am almost 90, 87, 62% sure that it comes to me in a CSV format.
I'm getting the HTMLs for all the pages with that.
So it's It does, so, but I think it comes in the package of the
Usually.
zip file as I think there's a CSV in the package though. At least I thought. Maybe it's changed, but historically I could have swore when you open the zip package of the thing that you download that there's a CSV file in with it. My question is, why do they want to see this too? And actually, my follow up to that is like, well, what if you created a report with all of the published pages, and then would you actually be able to export that report potentially? Maybe, I don't know.
You're on to the answer that has been like most useful to the OP, which was, I mean, there's a ton of, it's weird that this is a lot of different solutions to the Screaming Frog SEO. The bottom answer, the bottom response says custom report, which uses the website pages as primary object, and you can export that and do it over again with blog posts and landing pages, and then combine them as the best option for what he needed.
Which you mentioned a tool that I love. I use Screaming Frog. Like if that is also a thing, like although they don't want to buy another tool, I totally get that too. But that is a secondary solution. But anyway.
Yeah, I would be going back to your question as well, George, of like, why? There's no explanation for why this is needed. Why would something like this be needed to have count of all of them? Or
unless you're trying to feed it to like AI, like that's one thing that I always keep in my mind now is like the answer that it once used to be might not be the answer it is today, because literally there's a lot of people that are trying to do some weird ish because they want to put it into an AI system or AI agent or AI partner. And so, but if that's the case, then, you know, could you actually use just the export that you get in HTML version to put together some type of documentation that could actually then be used in for that? But I don't know. Anyway,
would this be something that people requested as part of like a migration from a platform? Like, we need all of these assets and we need links or like all of the published pages because we're moving. Like, well, is that something?
If that's the case, you want export all pages and blog post HTML. Like that's what you need if it's a migration issue. So that's why I'm curious of like, what are they trying to see or what are they trying to achieve?
Well, I mean, if it were something like published as like how many unpublished pages or how many drafts or how many whatever else is there, we just want the ones that we know are published and existing now instead of all of them. That'd be the only other thing I could. This would be like a half step, right? Like the step in between doing something larger or more robust. But yeah, it was an odd question, an odd use case without more explanation.
Chris, can you put my screen up? So I was just, when you said Screaming Frog, George, that reminded me, I have done this before, and I've used Screaming Frog for it. But if you go to your sitemap, which is in your settings under domains and URL, and then you can view the XML file, XML file. This will give you all the URLs. And then I'm thinking, I mean, it wouldn't be that hard. Yes, you are very needy.
Well, and I wonder if they want
to
the
just
URL
have ChatGPT to.
But do they want the copy on the page? Like, see, that's the thing. Do they want the URLs? Do they want the copy on the page? Do they want the URLs and the copy on the page? Like, what the heck were they trying to do? Dang on it.
Chris, you should clip this and then go respond to that and see if they'll give us more clarity on how to help.
Yeah.
Since Nick Decker gave an answer, I'm just gonna go with whatever he says.
Oh, geez. All right.
Nice. And if he's saying script is needed, because I've used things like Data Warehouse, their apps, to get this out in a clean way. But yeah,
I want to know if that email's sent yet, because now I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight. Son of. Nope, they didn't send.
The array of answers is indeed interesting. If you're interested, go check this out in the HubSpot Reddit.
I wonder.
Should we get to your follow-up?
I
Rob
also wonder
Jones?
if a custom report would work. Sorry, but you can move on.
A custom report was one of the suggestions in the Reddit thread.
That's why we were saying the array of answers is as interesting as the question, just with possibilities. We can dive into this a little bit if you want, but the relational versus transactional value thing and like what's the best way of in-person conversation. Kind of want to hear opinions on this. But like the follow-up was more of a quote that I've heard that I really liked about marriage. And it said, it's not 50%, 50%. It's 100%, 100% in like value add commitment. There's some parallels there. And I would say the amount of value I get from an ad or a sale thing is very little. And so like how do email marketers or people that are marketing in different, maybe a newsletter, whatever that vehicle is, how do they like expect and equate the value transfer to rank? Like I would put email at the very bottom, and in opposition to that, I would put an in-person dialogue or a phone call. Like there is a ranking list of how I interpret how much I'm giving towards a let's call it a relationship versus how much is being extracted from me from a relationship.
So be careful. Be careful. One, cold call would be below in email.
You're right. I amend my former list.
Now also be careful.
Oh,
because
crap.
a bad email is above a cold call. A great email is not even close to the bottom of the list of dumb crap that humans do to try to sell their products. But a bad email, right? So, but I do agree. Human conversation, video style content, audio style content, written content, like, that kind of starts to throw out like a thread here. What I like to think about for at least me with email is what I try to use as my tipping point. What I mean by that is hopefully I've already been badass enough online, human enough in social, killer in person on stage, that when you see my email come through, you're like, I'm at least going to see what this dude is up to. And if it's a tipping point because it's something that's right for you, then that email works. But it's definitely not something that I'm hinging my entire organizational business of staying alive or dying on. That's just me, though. Hate mail goes to Chris at.
Yeah, that was profound. Speaking of profound, Chris, I know you want to weigh in on this because I know that different people would rank value differently and have different preference. I just amended mine as soon as George opened his mouth because I agree cold call would be below whatever the bottom is, and then a bad email very close to that. But how do you anticipate a return? But I mean, George and Chris, you both talk about this all the time of like the mathematics of one and value for all of that. So at what point, because this is what a lot of people are dealing with ROI, do you start expecting some sort of what am I trying to say? Reciprocation in value. Is there a point? Can you put a time limit on that? Right? Like how do you start to measure that? If I, as a better like human example, if I have texted a family member on their birthday and holidays and whatnot every day, every birthday and holiday for the last 2 years, and have gotten nothing in return, not a thumbs up, not a response, nothing. Do I need to still keep doing that? Is that like, at what point do you start to evaluate the timeline of value, or do you at all? How many shows does it take for that? Like, that's what I want to start getting at with the 100%, 100%. It's just not like that.
Go ahead, Casey.
Well, I think so taking your example, Rob, if a family member is not responding to your happy Arbor Day text that you're sending every day, I mean, at some point it is like, at some point you have to question, like, are you not providing value to them? Like what you think you are doing to provide value is not providing value to them. Like they don't care about Arbor Day. Why are you texting
you would go there?
Like they're like, why is Rob texting me on Arbor Day? Like this is so random and weird. So I think for me, that's what I think about. And it could be a couple of reasons. One, it could be like they just don't care about those holidays and they'd rather you check in on Wednesday because they have therapy on Wednesday. I don't know. And that would be more meaningful to them than you checking in on these holidays. But, or also, there's two sides. It could be that the value you're providing is not valuable to them. But there's another world where the audience, the person, the human is not a fit for you. Maybe they think your shirt's weird and they're just like, not Rob, not for me.
Aunt Shirley, no.
So yeah. So so first of all, I did get the download. It is HTML, but then I wonder if you could put HTML files into AI and ask it to extract into a spreadsheet. Anyway, I'll skip off of that. Because Rob, I think you might have broke my brain a little bit in the question in that you asked it. So let me just kind of wax poetic here for a hot second. And we can talk about what everybody thinks about the words that are about to come out my mouth. And that's with me having about 6 minutes to do this. Okay. Measuring the success of your content through reciprocity and timing is less about quick wins and more about long-term trust. Reciprocity in content means that you first educate, insights, frameworks, tools, and later your audience feels compelled to give back with attention, engagement, or business. The success comes in two layers: short-term reciprocity signals, comments, shares, replies, DMs. And this really helped me style feedback. Second version, long-term reciprocity signals. Chris, don't hate on my partner, but leads, sales, referrals, partnerships, speaking invites. The timing, that's where patience, ladies and gentlemen, that's where patience and pattern recognition matter. Some people act right after consuming a piece of content. Others circle back weeks or months later when they finally need what you offer. So, like, there's not this. I have built an entire business on understanding the reciprocity and trust that I built over a 10-year period in 2 different agencies. Like, life is a long, it's listen, if you can turn your mindset into more of a crock pot and less of a microwave, I'm just saying.
That may be my favorite thing I've heard all week.
I'm just saying, listen, we are too quick to want it right now. Instant gratification for us versus providing instant gratification for others will provide the value that you want in your life in the future.
I think the most valuable thing is something you actually omitted from your response, George, which is weird. Maybe you implied is the right word here. Maybe you implied this, but like the reason that your email, like you said, seek to educate first, right? Like,
yeah,
that was part of the answer.
Yeah.
But you do that, you specifically, and Chris does this, and Casey does this. You do it through a perspective. Like, there is an intentional opinion that you have that you use to like put the education out, right? That is, to me, the most important. You do that incredibly well. So did you mean to not say that, or was that?
No. So it's another part. Plus, I want to get into this other piece before we run out of time. One, there's 2 things that I have to say. One, I would speak on stage if it was one person in the room. I would do a video if one person watched it. I would do create an article if one person was able to grow from it, because I'm focused on how do I help people. I'm a catalyst, become 1% better each and every day with one piece of content and the one thing they can learn. Like, that's just fundamentally how I am, who I am. So let's dive back into this because I think this is interesting. Reciprocity doesn't always work on your timeline. Think of it like planting seeds. Some sprouts fast, like comments, referrals, that kind of stuff. And some take a season, right? After 6 months. I've been following you for 6 months and now I'm ready to. Here's what I love right here. This line right here. The challenge, and I'll add this in, it doesn't say that, but the challenge for most humans is detaching your measurement from instant gratification If you only judge success by immediate return, you'll undervalue the slow burn relationships your content is quietly building. Like, somebody should frame that line, right? The challenge of humans is detaching your measurement from instant gratification. If you only judge success by immediate return, you'll undervalue the slow burn of relationships your content is quietly building. What's powerful is stacking your content like layers. Each piece is a touch point over time that consistently builds enough value equity that reciprocity has no choice but to show up.
There it is.
Oh my God.
Oh, so good.
That was amazing. I would not want to speak after that, but Chris,
I
you
do.
have the
I
last
do.
2 minutes.
I
Go
do.
ahead, buddy.
Because that instant gratification always relates to what you want, not what the customer wants. If that's out of the picture, then all you have to do is answer the questions. Will this build trust? Will this add value? If the answer is no to both of those, why in the world would you do that thing? The only reason we do, like all the emails you mentioned, because I need to sell more. I need to hit my KPIs. And I'm going to try and manipulate you by telling you you're running out of time. There's not enough left. This is the best price you're going to get. All these scarcity, fear of missing out, like, because we know that works on humans, but it's working less and less because AI doesn't appreciate it. And these companies, social and Google and Microsoft, are now utilizing AI to get that ish out of your inbox because they know we don't like it. And you're going to come on the show and say, I don't like the fact that I've been emailed 26 times.
Yeah.
Like, how many posts have we seen about all these inbound emails, even to the point where people think they can be clever and say, yes, this is another inbound email.
You got that email today?
Like, that's, yeah. And it was addressed to Isabel. So yeah, I get that it's not personalized. Thank you. Trust and value. Like, why else would you do your thing?
Trust and value. I agree. George, I need that on a t-shirt, the quote, and then
Bro, I just posted it on LinkedIn. I'm like, it's too good to stay in this show. I didn't even give it a graphic. I just put it on Facebook now too. I didn't give it a graphic. I just put the words out there because dang on it. Dang on it.
As always, we will see you next Friday. And look, work in the interim on turning your brain into more of a crock pot than a microwave. Thank you for that. Happy birthday, George. See you next Friday.
Hello, you've reached the HubSpot helpline. Helpline.
It's Rob, it's George, it's Casey, and Kyle. Come with a problem and leave with a smile. Every Friday at 3, come and join us as we help you with HubSpot. Open up your LinkedIn, just make sure you call in.